now set the mainsail, the Genoa and the Gennaker. First step is to be head to wind and set the Autohelm. Perfect. The boom cover starts from the back of the boom, and we have a big zipper, and we will just walk it from the stern to the bow. And there's another zipper here at the front of the mast. Now we need the mainsail halyard, which is tied at the end of the boom. It's a 2-to-1 system, so it's very easy to pull up. Just make sure when you're walking forward that it stays in the middle of the lace jacks. We have a headboard here. This mainsail is on cars, so it's very easy to just pull up and down. Very little friction. Center pin goes here, the block goes there, and you can just do a quick check. Nothing is twisted. You can also use the winch handle. It's to your preference. Just make sure at the end that the main sheet is not laid down, because otherwise it will be harder. Take over the helm. This can just stay here, and you can slowly bear away. I'll sheet in the main. The buttons have now popped, and we are now on the sail. And I will kill the engine. So we're going back to neutral. Turn off the ignition. This rod here, the push pin. If I just press the top, release, secure it with the Velcro. Press this little button. Little trick, it's nice to push away the engine from the rudder. And that's it. To install the Autohelm, I keep it in this storage locker. The outlet is actually right here. Pin it, fits right here, and just like that. Now we just have to press auto and set the bearing you want. Boom cover is really easy to secure. You just roll it. There's one elastic here, one in the middle, and one at the front. You don't have to undo it, put it away. You can just keep it there. Make sure it's just well rolled, and it will never be catching the breeze. And that's it. Now we will unfurl the Genoa. The first step is to make sure that your barber hull have enough slack. So if you pull your Genoa sheet tight, it goes straight. Genoa furling line. You open the clutch. Just pull in the Genoa seat. And that's it. Now we can just trim the Genoa and move on to the next sail, which is the Gennaker. The preventer is a great control line to use as a boom vang, but also to prevent the boom from driving by accident. I prefer to trim in the mainsail so the boom is more in the center of the boat instead of being here. It's easier to secure it. So the first step is to ease the boom vang. So it's already unfeated and it's secured here by a bungee. Just pull some slack and it goes right on the shackle, and then you can just pull it and adjust your mainsail accordingly. just like that. To set the Gennaker, the first step is to make sure that your head sail is out. It will prevent the Gennaker to be filled right away. The second step is also to make sure that you're more on a broad reach, and it's just to depower the Gennaker when you are going to do your hoist. So I'll bear away with the Autohelm, and now we'll move to the front of the boat. We'll secure the halyard, the tack line, and the sheets. So the first step obviously is to just open the clutch for the Spinnaker, just to make sure that I can reach the shackle, the Gennaker. Gennaker sheet is now free, port side 2, and then the tack line is right here. This is just so I can bring all control lines together to the Gennaker. We have here the Gennaker bag. I like to use this plastic hook and secure it here so it doesn't fly away, it just stays there nicely. So this is the head, there's a single attachment to it. You can secure it with the halyard. Just make sure that it's not twisted around the mast, but now it's clear at the top. So now the halyard is secured to the top of the snuffer. We can do the tack line. The tack line is at the very front of the boat. So make sure on the outside of your head sail. Now we just need to find the bottom of the snuffer bag. The bottom, we have this part here. This is the tack of the Gennaker. So we'll secure the tack line to the tack. The last bit is the sheets. If I do a multi-day of sailing, I like to keep my sheets secured here, and it's just save time passing the line every day through the blocks and everything. I know everything is tied here, and it takes a lot less time to get the Gennaker set up. So I'll just make sure that this line is over the bag, and then we'll look for the clue. So another way is just to run the tape. We'll realize that it's still actually in the snuffer. There we go. So now we have the clue and the sheets. So we secure it here. And just make sure that your tack line is over your sheets. This is very important, otherwise you won't be able to jibe. So make sure that your tack line is over the sheet. The next step is just to raise the suck up. You can just close the clutch. There's actually don't need the winch for this part. It's a very light sail. You can already pull the tack line a little bit. So this line is used to pull the snuffer up. There's a nice leash to it, just to make sure that it doesn't fly away, so you can always pull it down. So you secure it where you want. I like this spot personally. And then we'll hoist the Gennaker. Just make sure that there's someone in the cockpit, ideally, that pulls the tack line as you do the beginning of the hoist. And the second tip is actually, ideally, if you can make sure that your leeward sheet doesn't get stuck here. You can just let it sit either higher up, but not right there. It's a little tip. Let's get it up. Make sure your head and clue is out of the sock. Now I'll move to the back of the boat. On the tack line. Adjust the sheets. Now the Gennaker is hoist and trim. We can furl in the Genoa and head up after. That's it. You can now head up a little bit, get more power in the sail, and enjoy it. Let's lay the Gennaker down. If you wanted, we could unfurl the Genoa, but right now there's like there's barely any breeze here. So we hoisted the Gennaker on this side, but right now the Gennaker is on the other side. So we have to make sure that the line to pull the snuffer down is on the starboard side now. So I'll unhook it. All right, that's in front of the Genoa. So I can start pulling it down. When it's 1/3 down, you do have to release the tack line and the leeward sheet, just so the bottom of the Gennaker is narrower and the snuffer can keep going down. So this bit is the tack line, it's right here, going back. And that's it. Now we can just lower this Spinnaker halyard and lay the Spinnaker on the trampoline. Gennaker halyard is right there. Could have lowered it in its pad, but we'll reuse it shortly. And that's how you douse the Gennaker.